welcome back. President Abdel Fattah Sisi arrived in the United Arab Emirates to participate in the presidential segment of the 28th session of conferences of the state parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change COP28. And upon his arrival, he was warmly received by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, a leader of the United Arab Emirates. And with us on this very interesting topic is Dr. Noha Samir. She is Dean of the Faculty of Environmental Studies at Ain Shams University. Good morning, Dr. Noha. Hello.
Thank you. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Noha. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Of course, this is the 28th version of the summit, or a continuation of the COP27, the very successful version that was held in Sharm el-Sheikh. Now the United Arab Emirates is going to take it from Egypt to another level. What do you expect to be taken in that this year's version, the COP28 in the United Arab Emirates? Of course, it comes under a different title.
Yes, I hope that I hope that COP28 will help keep alive the goal of limiting long-term global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees. What was agreed by 200 countries in Paris Agreement in 2015. I hope this will be a very critical issue in this COP28 to keep it alive, this goal, and to keep it to help the countries to limit to this degree, 1.5 degree for increase in temperature.
Right. How do you analyze this year's title for COP28? The damages and loss fund and adoption of damages. I mean, it is focused on one of the important elements also. I mean, yes. Probably the people in the United Arab Emirates and the people who are in charge of the COP28 summit this year took it from where Egypt stopped last year. So yes, you'd like to focus on this point.
Yes, because this is the result of COP27 was this loss and damage fund issue arising. So I think we'll implement the implementation of this loss and damage arising fund. This is the crucial, also very important goal of this COP28. It will begin after Egypt ends in COP27. This fund to aid countries facing the several damage, especially in Africa countries. As you know, the African countries are the most countries stressed by climate change. So I think to be implemented, this fund from several countries in developed world will be the critical issue in this COP28.
Right, Dr. Noha, this 2-week-long negotiations of the summit, it comes in Dubai at a pivotal moment with the sensitive emissions still climbing, and the UN saying this year is likely to be the hottest in human history. So the people in charge of the summit this year, they have their hands full with too many causes. If you like to elaborate.
Yes, I think when we see in overall the world, there are many damage and loss due to the climate change issue in Africa, in Europe, in USA. So like flooding, like storms, like maybe the forest burning. So there are many issues which were arising in this special year in 2023. So I think they are facing many challenges in this COP. I hope it will be some climate finance reforms to make this emission cut, and also to accelerate the energy transition to cleaner energy, to maybe to minimize this effect of climate change.
Right. Dr. Noha, of course, the COP28 this year in Dubai is receiving almost 200 different countries from the whole world convening for this particular summit. Of course, it hopes to sell the vision of low carbon emission, of course, as we called for last year also the same thing. That includes, not shuns the fossil fuels, if you like to elaborate.
Yes, the carbon market rules must be one of these issues in the COP28. Especially this is comes this COP in many countries which are already oil production countries. So it must be some shifts from technical issues to some political issues between these countries. How to adapt to climate change, how to mitigate these climate change issues without making some economic loss for these countries produced oil. So I think it's a very big issue and big challenge for these countries also to change their production line from oil to cleaner energy, to hydrogen, to maybe to solar energy and to wind energy. So I think it's a challenge between economic issues, and it needs some political way to solve these issues.
Right. This year's summit in Dubai is urging the participants and nations. As we can see, there are many leaders from different nations worldwide. It is urging them to make faster cuts to planet warming emissions and phase out fossil fuels, especially with the oil-rich United Arab Emirates hosting the talks.
Yeah. I think this is one of some sessions talking about this issue, how to help to make sustainable development without the depletion of the natural resources. Also, to make some natural based solution for this climate change issue. So I think there are many sessions talking about this issue. Yeah.
Right. What would be the most important topics from your own point of view, besides what we have discussed right now, that the summit would focus on during the phase time of this conference or the summit?
I think the most the new legislation about the carbon trade, how to make the carbon footprint calculations, also for accelerating the energy transition. How to make some adaptation and mitigation for climate change, how to maybe cooperation between all countries, especially the Arab world, to mitigate and to adaptation for this climate change issue, especially in African continent. Also, there are some maybe issue, especially for Africa, because Africa is most vulnerable country to be affected by this climate change. So there is some special session focusing on Africa continent especially, and also how to convince the STM session, how to convince the developed countries to pay and to fund this loss and damage entity, which was resulted from COP27. How to convince them to put some money, especially in this economic problem along all the countries. So in this period of time. So how to convince them to give fund to this entity, which was really a big result from COP27 in Egypt.
As we can see, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, of course, is now about to join with world leaders, respectable world leaders and leaders from Gulf state countries. A memorial photo that is is about to be taken in a few seconds to hold the memory of more than 200 countries participating in this year's version of the climate change summit that is being held in Dubai. And as we can see, after world leaders arrived earlier and was received by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, leader of the United Arab Emirates, and as we can see that they are lining up in preparation for this memorial photo that is registering this year's version of COP28. Of course, this version of the conference that is held in Dubai is a continuation of the successful recommendations that was taken last year in COP27 that was held in Sharm el-Sheikh. That was built also on the recommendations of the Paris Agreement that was held earlier to COP27. And as we all know, that this particular conference, lots of countries, probably the whole world, is building hopes on solutions to be sorted out in this conference. Back to you, Dr. Noha, as we can see that, of course, without the success of COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, COP28 wouldn't be held that quick in Dubai, with its main objects or focusing on primarily causes that were taken and discussed in COP27. Do you agree or no?
Yes, I agree. And Egypt has a very big effort in climate change, I think this year and the year before. First, from launching the National Climate Change Strategy 2050 and the update of the National Development Contribution also in all ministries. Second, also, Egypt has advanced its goal of producing 40%, 42% of renewable energy by 2030 instead of 2035. And the President and all will urge this very well and will encourage this, especially in the Ministry of Environment, to how to cope with adaptation and mitigation for climate change. Also, I think Egypt has many programs of implementation like Noha program, and also for keeping this degree in 1.5 degree and how to cope with climate change. Also, I think has many efforts in maybe like biodiversity, in diversity and climate change. There are many also models for the Eco-Egypt, how to promote ecotourism and also how to cope with climate change in ecotourism, and can be applied in all Arab countries and all other countries. So I think there are many natural also based solutions in Egypt, especially in Red Sea. So there are many efforts Egypt has done in from COP27, the end of COP27 to until now. Because in COP27 is the beginning that Egypt has the leader for this COP until making to give this leadership to UAE in COP28. So I think Egypt has done many efforts in this and will present in many sessions in COP28 these activities of Egypt. The Ministry of Environment will present it and to have a model for other countries how to adapt and mitigate for climate change.
Right. Earlier, thank you very much, of course, Dr. Noha Samir.